The Masked Singer is back for a 2-episode semi-final, and the eliminations continue to get tougher, but we just want to see who is under these masks. Even though I'm pretty freaking positive I know exactly who's hiding under there. Anyway, here's our recap of the clues, the reveal, and who we think is under each of the remaining masks. But of course, before we unwrap all the details, go hit subscribe. There's no better way to keep up to date with everything that's happening, so turn on those notifications too, or I'm gonna lose it. The 2018 Masked Singer winner, the monster himself, T-Pain, is back in the building, this time as a guest judge.
Well, I'll tell you this, Nick, there's a lot of air conditioning up here.
All of the remaining contestants performed. That means we saw another song from the Fox, the Leopard, the Thingamajig, the Flamingo, the Tree, and the Rottweiler. The Fox kicked it off with a song by the former winner himself, T-Pain's Blame It. And wow, this canine has some moves. For his post-performance clue, the Fox said, "I have spent one of the best weekends of my life with one of you." And Ken freaked the Fox out. Up next, the Leopard hit the stage with his rendition of We Are Young by Fun, and I have to say, it was pretty fun. Then Ken came out with his usual,
"I know exactly who this is,"
and threw out an Enrique Iglesias guess for some reason. Moving on, Nicole's Love-a-Majig, the Thingamajig, hit the stage with an incredible performance of John Legend's Ordinary People. He took his performance to the audience, and I don't know about anyone else, but I thought he was going to wipe out on the steps with those big old Thingamajig feet for sure. Other than giving me a heart attack, the performance was a showstopper.
You're probably breathing hard as hell, because I stuck my fat ass in one of them things.
Then, Thingamajig dropped the bomb that he's collaborated with the same artist that collaborated with one of the judges. Let's move on to the Flamingo. She whipped out a performance of Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac, and everyone in the audience was definitely going her way. Ken described the performance as
sassy, it was sexy, it was seamless, it was super, and I've run out of adjectives that begin with the letter S. It was great, it was amazing.
Then Ken had the nerve to guess that the Flamingo was Hilary Duff. Does that really sound like the voice that gifted us with the Metamorphosis album, Ken? Don't do my girl Hilary like that. For her post-performance clue, she said,
I shared some couch time with one of you in 2013.
Let's take it to the tree, and oh my gaga, she pulled off an amazing performance of Edge of Glory, and the girl can shake it.
I love that they're making all the costumes this season to where the ass is shaking on them. It's a lot of that.
Twerk song.
Oh, those balls don't lie.
That's next season, the masked twerker.
And last, but abso-freaking-lutely not least, the Rottweiler wrapped up the night's performances with a tear-jerking rendition of Someone You Loved by Louis Capaldi. You know, I never thought I could be so moved by a dude in a jacked dog costume, but man, was I wrong. Then it was time for someone to go home. Instead of a smackdown, the judges and audience just straight up voted. For real, I had no clue who would be revealed. All the performances were killer. Alas, it was time to say goodbye to the tree. Before we leaf you with the reveal, to the clues! The tree said this week that it can get a little lonely under the mask, and she misses the collaboration and her friends. She also said she knows her loved ones are there in spirit, and she needs their cheers more than ever, while a bunch of cheerleaders danced around her with pom-poms. Well, that cheerleading reference convinced Ken he knew exactly who was under the mask.
All right, dig it. Broadway, Cheers, maybe, oh, I don't know, someone who was on the sitcom Cheers, maybe Frasier's wife, Lilith.
Robin and Nicole locked in the guesses as Amy Sedaris, Jenny threw out Anna Gasteyer, and T-Pain dropped this bomb of a guess.
Somebody that needs soup whenever they come out of the house. Now, when will you need soup when you come out of the house? It's gotta be cold, right? Yeah. When is it usually cold? Christmas. What do we have here? A Christmas tree. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Mariah Carey. Thank you very much.
All right.
Oh! I like it.
Okay, but for real, like, how freaking hilarious would that be?
And I can vouch, Mariah Carey does like soup. I know that for sure.
But of course, we know the tree is really... Whoa, a judge was right? Moving on, here's how the clues added up. Anna was on SNL for more than 6 years, so that would explain missing the collaboration and her friends. The tree also said she feels like a kid on Christmas Eve, nervous, excited, and unable to sleep. All these Christmas references make sense given her brand new holiday album, Sugar and Booze. Now, onto who we think, but pretty much freaking know, are under the remaining masks. The Fox hinted that he's finally being accepted for who he really is, and he doesn't need to use his superhero disguise anymore. The Fox also mentioned being unchained, which was totally thrown into the package just to throw the judges off his trail. That hint had Ken and Nicole locking in their guesses as Jamie Foxx. T-Pain sounded pretty confident that the Fox is Lenny Kravitz, but we're with Robin on this one. The Fox is abso-foxin-lutely Wayne freaking Brady. Hear me out. All this superhero nonsense is because Brady will soon be playing Tyson Sykes, aka Gravedigger, on the CW's Black Lightning. Also, have you even heard the Fox sing? Brady's voice is pretty unmistakable.
She don't wanna seem like she easy.
I knew from the moment he sang This Love by Maroon 5 in his first performance. I'm getting heated, let's move on. Up next was the Fabulous Leopard. In his clue package this week, there were a lot of tennis references, and a sign that read, "The Grand Slam Open brought to you by Tofu." We also see some imagery of a crashed motorcycle. Ken decided to throw out Enrique Iglesias as his guest for some unknown freaking reason. Jenny is going with Eric Benet, and Robin is settling on Seal. Robin was our boy last night because the leopard is definitely singer-songwriter Seal. That Tofu thing makes sense because Seal is pretty open about being a vegetarian. As for all those tennis visuals, just Google Seal tennis and you get like a million photos of him playing the sport. But more specifically, he recently participated in the Chris Everett Pro Celebrity Tennis Classic. The guy just loves tennis, okay? And finally, he was unfortunately involved in a motorcycle accident in his youth. We've got this one sealed, no doubt about it. Moving on a majig to the Thingamajig, in his clue package this week, we saw a visual of a guitar and signs that read MVP, and he said, "This is no time to get crabby." T-Pain locked in his guess as John Legend on stilts, and Nicole went with Markelle Fultz of the Orlando Magic. Sorry, judges, you're all wrong, because I've been saying it from the beginning, ya boy is most definitely basketball player Victor Oladipo. The dude's got his own freaking album on Spotify with lots of guitar accompaniments. And like we said before, Oladipo is from the state of Maryland, which explains the crab reference. Let's flamingo over to the flamingo. This week, the pink bird hinted in her clue package that she needs to step up. She also made a reference to the old TV show Sister Sister, starring Tia and Tamara Mori. Robin is sticking with his Fantasia guess, Ken threw out Hilary Duff for reasons I'll never understand, and Jenny went with Adrienne Bailon as her guess. Jenny is right on the money, the flamingo is totally Adrienne Bailon. She's a co-host of the show The Real, alongside Sister Sister star Tia Mori. And all the real Cheetah Girls fans should have picked up on that Step Up reference real quick. No, it's not a reference to the dance movie, but it's one of the Cheetah Girls' hit songs. Let's round this out with the hound, the Rottweiler. In his clue package, we see a lot of Zen imagery and references to yoga. The pup then says he takes time for meditation every day. After the performance, the Rottweiler says he's been on the same list as one of the judges, and it was not the sexiest man alive. Sorry, Ken. Then Ken whips out this theory.
Sometimes the world is obvious. I'm just looking at a dog and I'm thinking, 2 words, bow wow. I think you're bow wow.
Robin stuck with his guess of Darren Criss, and Nicole is going with Jared Leto. Well, if they don't get it now, they just aren't gonna, because that pup is for sure singer Chris Daughtry. Daughtry is a yogi himself and has said in interviews that he uses essential oils, crystals, and meditation to help him cope with the chaos of being on the road as a performer. Also, the voice is just unmistakable. But what do you guys think? Did I nail it this week, or do you have some better guesses for me? Let me know in the comments, and while you're down there, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. We're getting down to the wire here in season 2 of The Masked Singer, and I need you as much as Ken needs his wild guesses at this point. So make sure you stick with Cinema Blend.